What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Alex and Joe Don't Know. Joe, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Living the dream. Got to watch some soccer today.
Oh,
I think everyone can tell by now. Talking about the world sport,
the world.
soccer.
You mean football?
No, it's soccer.
I think you mean football.
No,
Football.
soccer.
Foot.
Soccer.
Footy.
Why would someone come up with the name and then make fun of us for using it?
Ask England.
They just need to try and one up us after a Revolutionary War loss.
Yeah, true. For sure, man.
But
Joe, do you watch
yeah.
any soccer at all, by chance?
Do I watch soccer? Let's see. I've watched a lot of this World Cup, and you're like, ooh, just a World Cup fan. If you think that, I mean, you should recognize what this jersey is.
Oh, yeah.
Crystal Palace. I
Oh,
spend my
Crystal Palace.
Saturdays and Sundays mornings watching soccer. I spend Saturday nights watching Charlotte FC and the MLS. Sometimes USL. I'll watch La Liga. I'll watch Argentine Premier League. I'll watch Brazilian Serie A. I'll watch actual Serie A. Endless soccer in this apartment.
Football. Yeah.
We can go back and forth, so we can agree. I'll say soccer, you can say football, and just act like.
Yeah, but I did watch the game today. Very disappointed that England lost, but it is what it is. Can't do anything about
I
it.
disagree with that one. They should have closed out the game better.
They should have. They should have. But
That's on them.
Well,
And, like, I didn't see too much reffing unfairness in this one.
no, no.
Like, that's what I know the go-to will be is, like,
Cross.
they favor. And I'm like, England got a favorable call in their quarterfinal matchup against Norway,
Yeah.
but we're not going to focus on reffing because you can make fun of you can pick a bad call every game.
Yeah, so you're wearing a Crystal Palace jersey, and I have this ridiculous thing on my head. I'm a Forest fan, big Nottingham Forest fan, and I promise you that it'll pay off one day. We have 2 stars, 2 Champions Leagues. Yes. Did you know that?
Were you alive for that one?
I was not alive for that. Hey, what's Crystal Palace
Oh,
won? What's Crystal Palace won? How about that?
FA Cup, Community Shield, Europa League. Not Europa, my bad. That's this coming year. We won. Oh, shoot. What did we just win? I literally watched the final. Conference League. After Forest was having a cow that we were playing in the Conference League. Not Conference League. The names are too similar. Forest was having a cow that we were playing in the Europa League, and like, ooh, they can't do that. And what did Forest do in the Europa League? Nothing.
We did nothing. All right, fuck you. We also
What did Crystal Palace do in the Conference League?
they won.
Trophies beat complaining.
All right, I think I'm gonna take this off because I'm starting to look like I look like chemo Santa Claus.
That's a word for it, yeah. Oh, did you get a new haircut?
Oh my god! Yeah, I got a haircut. Did you get a haircut, Joe?
Oh, I did. I got it a lot shorter. Needed a new change.
Yeah, unfortunately, it makes both of our heads look bigger. So
It does make my head look bigger, but it makes my hair look smaller.
yeah, your hairline is hiding at least.
So I have a question for you. Is it a haircut or a hair cuts or a hair's cut?
It's a haircut.
Okay. Jumping into actual soccer now.
All right. So Joe, how do we meet?
You know, you can go boring answer and say college, which, yes, true. But we both took a class freshman year. I think this was the title of the class. It was History and Sociology of Soccer in the UK.
It was something like that.
It was something along the lines of that.
Yeah. Sociology was in it. I don't think history. I think it was just.
Well, we learned about
sociology of
history.
Soccer in the UK.
Yeah, one of the
Life
two.
and culture. So, what do we do in that class?
So we learned about the sociology of soccer, and we did that for, I think it was 8 weeks, right? Or 7 or 8?
It was from the beginning, like middle of January, until our last class was
March?
March 22nd, it said. So
So it might have been 6 weeks.
Just
Get that
about.
reference? Yeah.
Oh, I heard it.
So
I just didn't acknowledge it.
yeah, and then the creme de la creme of the class is that we actually got to travel to the UK during our spring break freshman year.
Yeah, we did.
And most importantly, and the stuff I enjoyed the most, was watching soccer outside of the U.S.
Yeah, you did. It was fun. It was a great time.
Because, yeah. And, I mean, like, I still remember to the day each game we went to. Not necessarily, I remember the score to one of them. I remember the outcomes. But, yeah. So do you want to talk about any of the games we went to?
I would like to. I'm actually looking at. I'm trying to see if I can pull up the book we read for that class, just to give a little book recommendation.
It's called The Club.
For the class.
The Club. Yeah, The Club. That's what it's called. The History of the Premier League.
I don't think it was called The Club. I'm pretty sure. I can't wait to be right. Hold on. Because I thought I bought it off Amazon.
Just so happened to have a copy of The Club.
That's not what we read for that class.
Yes, it is.
I don't think so. I think you're wrong.
Yeah.
Bro.
Uh-huh. What book did we read for the class then?
Fuck yourself, Joe. Jesus Christ.
Huh.
Also, Rob, Duncan, and Brutzman, go ahead and take a drink for that one. Assholes.
Oh, there's another. Someone is trying to watch their language this episode, so my mom can watch.
Trying to watch my language from now on because it was back to soccer. But yeah, no, we had a great time. We flew over to London. We actually took a flight out of Charleston. We flew from Charleston to New York City. Okay, had like a 5-hour layover. Yeah, and then we flew from New York City. I think we departed at like 7 or 8 that night. And flew into London Heathrow. And then we took a bus from London Heathrow. Another 2 hours, because that was probably like what, a 7-hour flight. I didn't sleep a lick at all.
Yeah, it's from New York. It's 7.
Yeah. So then 7-hour flight. I didn't sleep. We had a 2-hour bus ride. Everybody was asleep.
Me either.
I was scrolling on my phone. And then we finally got to Nottingham, and we basically just admitted, me and Joe and a couple of the other, we just kind of walked around the city square and tried Guinness.
Didn't we go straight to a pub? Yeah.
I took you straight to a pub, yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, that was our first stop.
We walked around the city square.
Because we were...
To a pub.
Yeah, I was 19 at the time, so I'm like, ooh.
Beer. You were drinking, like, wine and, like, rum. I remember you ordered a rum and coke.
Cider.
You were drinking ciders and rum and cokes.
Ciders are a respectable drink over there.
Ciders are fun, but you did. I remember the guy ID'd me and asked me what my accent was in Nottingham. That always stuck with me. And then, do you remember seeing him the next day after the game that we went to, which we'll get to in a second? And he starts talking to us again about like accents and stuff. Do you remember that at all? It was great. I also remember that they had a Hooters in Nottingham. That was crazy.
So you remember, like, some of those details don't stick with me.
I remember I remember that whole walk and like the whole culture because So what me and Joe did and where we went was our first game was actually, can I get a drum roll, Joe?
No.
It was Everton at Nottingham Forest. Joe, do you remember what happened in that game?
I do. It was a close battle the whole game.
Yeah. What was the final score?
And then it was 2-2.
It was 2-2. It might have been 1-1.
No, it was 2-2.
It was 2-2.
I mean, I remember all the soccer stuff.
Fair enough.
The only thing I didn't like about that game is, well, this might sound bad. We were sat in the family section, so we couldn't chant any of like the bad words.
Yeah, I mean,
because like after watching Ted Lasso, my favorite word became wanker.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a different one.
No.
I have a different one.
My private story on Snapchat used to be named "You're a Wanker."
You want to see? Yeah. Fun. Yeah, I don't know.
But
I used to use another word.
yeah, it was a fun game. I mean, it was a nice like little introduction because I think it was the same for you. At that point, I'd never gone to a game outside of the U.S. I'd only gone
I'd been to
Charlotte
soccer.
FC, Portland Timbers. Yeah, I'd been to soccer games in the U.S., but it's not like cliche to admit it. It's completely different.
It's so different. It's a lot more like a college football match, but I don't even think that.
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
even
think
think it can be compared to
I think
that.
they're different, but they're very comparable. That makes any sense. The atmospheres, and then just a pure like fan fest, is very similar. Like just going to a South Carolina football game, like SEC football game, and like looking at UK, just soccer culture, similar dynamics, just a little bit difference in the game itself, and like the viewership, because you can't drink on the pitch, or you can't. Sorry, you can't face the pitch and drink. Fun fact, which is probably
Very needed there.
very needed.
After
Yeah.
what happened in the, I think it was late 80s or early 90s,
Mid 80s.
whenever, yeah.
Yep. But anyways, moving on. So yeah, we got to see a draw between Everton at Forest in the middle of March. This is also directly after the last World Cup, the 2022 World Cup. So we kind of came in a good time. What is that? Yeah,
This was in 23. March of 23.
First week of March. Anyways, so we had a good time, grand old time, and yeah, it was a wonderful time. And that's where I fell in love with Forest. Actually, the next day was really where I fell in love with Forest too. The culture was great, and me and Joe went out and celebrated for a very long time that night and day, and stopped at a
We
cool
did.
bunch of cool spots in Nottingham, which was awesome.
It was. It was really cool. Really cool town. Because, I feel like when Americans go to the UK, they're either going to Edinburgh, which is, spoiler alert, next stop, but or just London or Manchester.
It was Edinburgh.
They don't really go.
We
That's
went
what
to
I just said.
Newcastle too, but we didn't see a game.
Didn't see a game there.
But we did tour the stadium, which was very cool.
Yeah.
But anyways, so then the day after the Everton game, we met some Everton fans, but that's a story for another time.
Yeah, another time.
Hope they're doing well.
I still have my picture with them at the casino.
Same first gambling experience.
And last.
With, yeah.
But yeah, let's continue with the soccer. We can leave the travel stuff for the travel episode.
I think we're gonna leave the travel stuff. We did end up in Newcastle though. We actually
Toured their
before we went to
stadium.
Newcastle. We did tour Forest's facilities and everything. That was absolutely wonderful, and we got to meet the captain from their late '70s Champions League titles, John McGovern. Very, very nice older Scottish gentleman. It was really funny to kind of like meet somebody who's like won something. He's a fairly humble guy, I thought. Would you agree?
Yeah, very humble.
But another shout out that I'd like to make on this pod, besides like Cam and Bruce that we've done before, I'd like to give a shout out to, I cannot think of his last name to search or to save my life right now, but shout out Graham, who is actually the CEO of their community trust, I believe, for a very long time. And he retired that year. But before his retirement, he was able to get us set up that whole experience for us. And Nottingham Forest has always been very, or up until that point, has always been very good to see to students taking that course. So, and he came over here about last May, so May of 2025, and I worked at the gym in college, and I just kind of just ran into. He walked in one day, and I was like, "How do I know this guy?" And then suddenly it clicked after like 20 minutes. I walked up, talked to him, and it just kind of ended up doing a whole thing. And I went to a whole seminar for this class again. And so, but Graham's a really great guy, all class. Just loves his first love was soccer, and he was able to actually figure out a career working in it, which is super awesome. And that's his favorite thing to do is just work with the community and get them involved with careers outside of just soccer. So, and the community trust is a very important aspect that a lot of people don't talk about, especially in the UK. And I wanted to talk about that on the pod today. So, yeah, you want to take the story along?
Home, there's still 2 more games.
Yep.
All right, so yeah, we made our way up to Edinburgh, not Edinburgh like we would think it was.
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh,
I
bruh.
was yelled at by a Scottish bouncer about this. It's
He
Edinburgh.
was. I do remember that one too.
It was
So also, yeah. So I mean, like we didn't get to tour the stadium if I'm remembering correctly, but we did go see Rangers at Hibernian, aka Hibs. And for those of you who know soccer, Rangers is one of the most dominant teams. It's either them or Celtic in the Scottish Premier League. So we got to see a top two team in the league. Because I don't think they won that year, but they could have. And so it was cold. We were freezing.
It was snowing.
It even snowed during the game. Yeah, like we're both from. You're from. Yeah.
I'm from Orlando.
Yeah, we're from the South, and like that was the first time I saw snow in I don't know how many years.
Yeah. It was awesome. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and it was
Very
like
pretty
such a fun
backdrop.
atmosphere.
Walking
Yeah,
home.
like-
Me and Joe did karaoke that night.
Okay. We're deviating from the soccer here.
Oh my god, it's fun.
And then, so like one big thing that we learned about in class was protests during soccer matches. And at the time, the Rangers they were protesting a few things, like no more flares in the stadiums, which they very obviously broke that rule to protest.
Mm-hmm.
And they lit off a bunch of flares. And then they protested something about their owners. I don't remember exactly what.
Remember the
And then-
owner of Hibs had passed away.
Well, they didn't protest that. That was a moment of applause. That was a minute of applause. I believe it was how old he at the minute
He was like 60.
of how old he was when he died.
Agreed.
So yeah, it was in the like 63rd minute. Everyone stood up and clapped, even the away fans. So it's really cool to see. Even though they'll like each other, but when you're in a stadium, like I'm speaking from experience of like U.S. sports, like even though you're in the same stadium, you're not gonna like the people cheering for the other team. But it's really nice that they can still show respect during a game like that for, an influential figure for the other team's club.
Yeah, that was very beautiful. Quite a beautiful moment, I thought. They did, however, Hibs, who we were supporting. I'd like to point out that I brought some of our scarves out from that time. Green and white. You can get it at their gift shop. Hibs did lose, but it had to have been like 3
They
goals.
did.
I don't even think they scored. It was absolutely miserable.
They didn't.
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
They were playing one of the best teams in the league, so like I think it was expected.
Yeah.
I was excited to see Rangers play, so
But it was cool. It was a good game. We had a good time. And we left early. I don't know if you remember that. Because
we did because it was so cold,
Most of the group was ready to go.
and it was such a. If it was a close game, I would have been like, I'll find my way back to the hotel. But it was not close, cold, snowing. Not a good time. Well, it was a good time, but like, I only have one other comparable experience to that, and I left early as well when it was a snow game, and with wind chill, it was like negative 25.
I got you. Well, we had a good time.
But
At least. And that was fun. And then we hopped on the train. And we took the train, plus a delay, down to London.
the creme de la creme of the UK.
Indeed. And, we did a couple of things. Obviously, just here in London, it's so big. We were staying in Kensington area, so a little bit closer to Chelsea. But we did not tour Chelsea. Instead, we chose to tour Queen's Park Rangers, QPR. Got this scarf. It's a little thinner than the other ones. But it was a good scarf. And shout out their community trust guy. I believe his name is Justin, or was Justin, when he was there back in 2023. And I actually thought that they had one of the... I thought that their atmosphere, because they play in the championship level, which is the second tier of English football. I thought that their atmosphere was my favorite out of the 3 games we went to. Would you agree?
I'm going Hibs for the atmosphere.
Fair. I just remember the community experience getting to come out to after we toured the whole facility and just kind of getting to you get to see all the youth leagues, the U16, the academy players and and they're all playing, and we could actually play soccer with kids who I did not realize at the time were actually signed to play for them, because I was like, why is this kid fucking whooping my ass? Drink and drink. And And yeah, it was. I thought it was a wonderful time. And then we got to watch that game. And who were they playing, Joe? Do you remember?
They were playing Watford.
Mm-hmm. Which Watford lost. So we finally got to see the team that we were supporting win, take a W. And before that, Joe, where were we on? Were we on the pitch at any time?
I think we were, if I'm remembering
We were on the
correctly.
pitch. There's actually a video of us from ESPN2 waving the flags. It was very cool with our scarves and everything.
Yeah.
So shout out QPR for that experience. It was a very memorable time.
Yeah.
Shout out that.
We got to. Yeah. We were on the field while the players were like coming on.
It was awesome. It was just so awesome. They were running through us. They had to.
After I realized I was too old to walk out with the players, like it's a pretty like it's
You
like
did try.
the thing to do. Yeah, they
awesome.
rejected me for the World Cup,
Yeah. Well, I would have rejected you too.
and then I asked them to like sign me so I can walk out with the players, and they said no.
Yeah.
They saw my soccer skill and was like, "Get this guy out of here."
It's not great. What did
I.
What did the
But
guy
my soccer skill has gotten better since then, believe it or not.
What did the guy at the? Remember when the English guys at the club said to you and me
No?
about what position? We were walking through the ball pit and they stopped us and told us what position we play. I remember being very worked up.
Probably put me at like center back or something,
He
or on
put
the
you at
bench.
center back. You're like, I'm not a center back. I'm a striker.
Yeah,
I was
probably.
worse. He put me in winger. I was like, that's a big winger.
Yeah. No, I always saw myself as a striker. Now I could see myself as a center back. I do like scoring goals though,
Yeah, you're definitely not.
but
a
like
keeper.
I'm not quite. I'm more in shape now than I was then, believe it or not.
I agree.
And it's like I can keep up now. Don't throw me in the midfield. I don't like it unless I'm a center forward.
Yeah. Well,
But
no, it was a great time. So shout out London, big fan of that. So, but there's a lot of interesting things in the UK, especially like looking at soccer. For example, like I remember, I didn't wear this one yet. I had my Newcastle Carabao Cup scarf, which they lost, by the way.
they did. That's why it was on sale.
And I remember walking into some restaurant or bar in Edinburgh, and they're like, "You cannot wear this inside." They're like, "You have." So I had to put it in my pocket, and I was like, "Why? That's so silly." Yeah, they go pretty crazy over there. Come to find out, but so yeah, of course, it can be a place for hate. But I remember at one point we were in a pub, and I had my QPR scarf on, and some Chelsea fan just like walks up to me, starts talking shit. But he's American. He was just so happy to see more Americans, so he just was bought me. I think he bought me a pint, if I remember correctly. But it's definitely very interesting. Just scars and bars. You meet people out on the streets. We met an Irish guy out on the street after the QPR game. He was very drunk. Way to fit into the stereotype. But yeah, he was pretty drunk. You meet a lot of people,
You
which I
do.
think is interesting. Because here in sports, it's like you don't really talk to people from. They support the other team, and you're just gonna heckle them. But they actually come up to you and talk to you and like want to like talk about the game and things, which I thought was pretty interesting.
And they'll heckle you to your face too, which
They
I
will.
enjoy a lot more than being heckled behind my back.
Yeah, just like screaming random shit at you from across the bar and being like wanting to fight. And they just like walk up to you and just find like a little cheeky insult.
Yeah.
And
And then you'll like dap up and you'll be like, well, you insult them back first, and then
You
you
insult
dap
them
up
back
and
and
you're
then you have a beer together. It's great.
like, yeah. Great atmospheres.
Yeah, man. Well, Joe, do you want to talk? So Joe has a little bit more field knowledge, we'll call it.
Yeah. Yeah. We can
You
say
want to talk
that.
about those experiences?
Yeah, so I've been very fortunate to have watched soccer, not just in the UK, but I've also seen games in Spain. I have seen games, or a game in the Netherlands. And I'll start there before I get into the other two.
Yeah.
I'll talk about that, because one of these. So in Spain, you wouldn't think much. I went to like a Spain third division game in a town of like less, it probably had 500 people in it. And it goes along with exactly what you were saying, is this team was on like a 12-game losing streak. They were doing absolutely terrible. And we show up. We didn't know it was a cash a cash only place, so none of us had it was me and Ben, shout out Ben. Neither of us had euros on us, so his host dad bought us the tickets. We paid him back for it. And then went to the seats. I wasn't expecting, I knew what it was going to be like. I knew it was going to be bleachers, and it was just concrete bleachers. But when we were there, we were treated like kings the whole time. People were talking to us. They were like, "Ooh, you're American? Why are you watching a game here? There's better." And they kept buying us beers and beers and beers. That's probably the most amount of beer I drank in a soccer match, is whenever everyone was buying it for us.
Yeah, it does happen.
We didn't buy a single can of beer that match.
Well, it's because the stereotype is that Americans don't watch soccer, which is untrue.
Yeah. And then on top of that, too, they went up in the match. And so everyone's like, "Ooh, you're the good luck charm. You're the good luck charm." And then we were like, okay. The other team tied it. And then the team I was supporting, I don't remember the name. It's in my phone somewhere. They ended up winning 2-1. And everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, you're the good luck charm." And then they were talking to us on the way out, and other people were overhearing, like, "Oh, you're American? Why are you here?"
That's funny.
And so, yeah, that was a really fun experience, because I don't know many people that have gone to a Spanish third division soccer match. So, and another really fun one I got to see in Spain, was I got to see Champions League, and it was the 24-25 Champions League. And I got to see Atletico Madrid play Slava Bratskvia on a Tuesday night, where it was also cold. But that was an incredible experience, because there's no opportunity to watch that in the United States. And you just hear about it, you watch everything, and it's just a really cool thing to see in person, because I thought the England away fans were crazy. Dude, I can't remember what country. I think they're from Slovakia or like Croatia. They're one of the like former Yugoslavia countries. And dude, they chanted the entire 90 minutes. They were in sync. And they were like, it was crazy. Atletico did end up winning 2-1, but that was really fun to see.
Realistically.
But it was incredible. Same thing with the beer. You can't drink there. You have to drink in the concourse. But what we really enjoyed, believe it or not, was the hot chocolate. Because our hands were cold. Neither of us had gloves. I went with my boy Bailey. Shout out Bailey. And then, yeah. So that's like outside of the United States of the games I've seen. And I'm very fortunate. I attended the Club World Cup last summer in Charlotte. I saw Real Madrid play Pachuca. And I did go as a Real Madrid fan, because I have a Real Madrid jersey. That was what I was going to wear, but I decided on my actual favorite team. I actually do like Atletico Madrid more, believe it or not.
Yeah.
But I just spent so much time in Madrid, I had to get a jersey for both. And then Real Madrid won that game. No one's really shocked. That one, though, it was like 100 degrees outside, and I was baking in the sun. And then these guys behind me were insulting me in Spanish, thinking I didn't know what they were saying, and I got to turn around to them at the end of the game and talk to them in perfect Spanish, and their mouth... Yeah, that was really fun.
Good.
It was just like, this guy has no idea what he's talking about, and just stuff like that. It wasn't anything like terrible, but...
Yeah.
And then I was fortunate enough last month to attend a World Cup match in Atlanta. I got to see South Africa versus Czech Republic, and the feeling I got at that game is like no other. I'm literally getting chills just thinking and talking about it. I have been looking forward to this World Cup for 4 years, thought I wouldn't be able to go, and then I found a reasonably priced ticket for something that wasn't a nosebleed, and I pulled the trigger and I decided to go. And quite literally, I can't describe anything about it. Like, there's no connection to anything in the world that describes the atmosphere that was at that game. And even like pregame, I got there, I think the doors opened 3 hours before kickoff. I arrived 3 hours before kickoff, went to the store, went to the FIFA store. Everything was overpriced, but I still bought a jersey, a scarf, a ball. And then, like, I finally sat down at my seat, and I shed a tear or two because of how important it was and the importance of the World Cup and being able to finally go.
Yeah. I remember
which
when you
is
went.
very cool experience. I am so grateful that I had the opportunity to even go,
Yeah.
and it was genuinely top 5 thing I've ever done. Top 2.
Good. Yeah, I remember you being very happy. I also remember all your little vlogs you did. It was pretty funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, what's up, guys?
I remember I set the over under for money spent at the FIFA store, and I believe I doubled what I said I was going to spend.
Yeah, you
I
did.
think I think my line was at 100, 110, something like that, and I ended up spending I think $240 there,
Sick.
if not a little more. But I got 10% back for using my Visa card, so
Huh, good. There you go. That works. Yeah, man. Well,
justified.
yeah. I mean, I went to a game in Atlanta too. I actually went to 2 games in Atlanta. Just sad. You gonna ask me about it? Yeah.
Yeah, elaborate. What 2 games?
Okay. Yeah.
Because I mean, obviously it's not Atlanta FC because they suck.
Well, I actually got to go to 2 games because me and my dad and my 2 little brothers, shout out them, we went to a Premier League summer series, which is a fun thing that the Premier League has been doing. Not this year, but I don't think they're doing it this year, but they've done it the past few years.
Yeah, there's not a
2023.
full summer series, but there's some. Yeah, there's some Prem doing preseason here.
That's cool. So
Not summer series though. Not as cool as
Yeah.
summer series in my opinion.
we got to see a doubleheader. Now it was a pretty awesome time. It was in Atlanta. We made a trip out of it a little bit, and I got to see the first match that we got to see was Brighton at Brentford, or Brighton v Brentford, and that was pretty good. That was actually the better game, I thought. I was surprised that it was the better game, and it was a good time. And I remember, my little brothers were younger then, and so we had pretty good seats. Atlanta has a killer stadium, and
They
just
do.
it's an awesome stadium, and yeah, it was a great time. I remember, if I remember correctly, Brighton ended up taking the win, which I wasn't too surprised. And so yeah, and I got a bunch of merch they gave out so much free merch at the Fan Fest, so I got that flag for free, and I can't find my Brentford stuff for some reason. Anyways,
Where
then
was their fan fest?
It was in Atlanta.
Yeah, where in Atlanta?
It was right outside the stadium.
You see, that's lucky. That's like my biggest takeaway from the World Cup because the fan fest for the World Cup was in Olympic Park. I would have really liked it to be outside the stadium.
Yeah, they did everything. I
really
have
cool.
pictures of me and my little brothers. We're doing a bunch of stuff. You could they did everything. I mean, they did it quite well. It was probably one of I have a shirt from it. I actually should have worn that. It's a purple Premier League Summer Series shirt. My dad was like, "You gotta stop wearing purple," but yeah, he's like, "Why are you trying to look like Barney?"
You actually told me to wear a purple jersey.
Yeah. So, anyways, then we got to watch Chelsea, Newcastle, and the rest of the doubleheader. We actually ended up leaving early because my little brother got sick, but it ended up in a draw, and that was a wonderful, wonderful time. I actually really liked Newcastle for a while too, and I still do. Forest, I prefer, and yeah, so very grateful to have even experienced as little soccer as I have, but even more than the average American. So yeah. Overall, 10 out of 10 experiences everywhere I've been.
Yeah.
Each game different, each stadium different, each culture different. And so that's what I've really enjoyed about soccer. But
Yeah.
I don't know, is there anybody who...
I forgot to mention. Wait,
yeah.
no, before you go into this, I forgot to mention. I was so shocked. I forgot to mention that the game in the Netherlands, you could drink at your seat, and I was so shocked that you could do that. They literally give you a plastic reusable cup. You had to buy the cup first, and then they fill it with beer, drink it, get a refill, go to your seat, drink some more. Pre-game, go get some more. I was really shocked that I could drink at the seat.
It's pretty awesome, though. But they also have a better culture.
Right.
They probably have a more positive drinking culture.
Yeah, it was a lot tamer. Oh, drinking culture, yes, but also the fans were a lot tamer.
Yeah, I'd believe it.
They weren't as yelly at the other fans. There was some antics, but
shout out to my dad. He's a soccer coach, done pretty well for himself. But more importantly, even growing up, my dad always took me to a bunch of different sports games because we were in Orlando. So we had ESPN and I was doing sports. So we would just go to like random things. I couldn't tell you the teams we used to watch as a kid. He was also my soccer coach when I was a very young kid. Popka Jaguars, 9 seasons.
9 seasons. Let me guess, 0 goals.
No. Fall, spring. I don't remember how many goals. I played keeper for a little bit. I was a horrible keeper.
I was going to say, reflexes aren't that quick.
I think I had 1 goal, and it was an own goal. So I might have had maybe one other. I was not very good. I'd still mog you now, but...
I 100% disagree. My fun fact is I put up a hat trick in 9 minutes in one of my rec leagues.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually playing so good, my coach actually moved me to defense, and he said you can't score anymore. So do you know what I did? Scored again.
Well, cool.
And then he took me out.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Well, yeah, but we would go to Orlando City games before they were actually in the MLS, back at Camping World Stadium. So
yeah,
that was really my first.
Don't they still play there?
Yeah, I believe so.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. But now it's a bit nicer. So
yeah, now that the NFL is like, we're playing our Pro Bowls here.
Yeah, I remember in 2015, I think it was, when Kaka, whatever.
Kaka.
Kaka. He came to play for Orlando City. It was like a massive deal in there. Especially my grandma, because she thought he was hot. So. She'd be like, oh, that hot Brazilian guy. I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, thank you, Grandma.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. So I just wanted to shout out my dad before we went into this. What about you, Joe? You got anybody who defined your soccer watching experiences?
Do you want to go one by one here, or do you just want me to...
By one. There we go.
One by one? Okay.
Sure.
So, first and foremost, without Ted Lasso, I would not be as big of a soccer fan as I am. And I know... I don't know if you'll agree with me for the same reason. Like, I grew up playing soccer, and then I stopped, and then I didn't care about soccer, and I would always make fun of my older brother for watching soccer. Shout out Sean. I don't know if he watched the whole podcast. I know he watched the clips. But he would watch soccer. I would not. I used to make fun of him for watching soccer, and then the show Ted Lasso came out, and it also coincided with Charlotte FC coming to fruition in 2022, and that kind of just revolutionized my sports
knowledge.
Because before that, I was just very football, basketball, and then I was like, okay, soccer. I know more about baseball stats. I don't watch baseball, but it really broadened my horizons and the knowledge, because I did grow up playing FIFA, and then I have logged too much time on FIFA since then.
Yeah, I played so much FIFA.
But without Ted Lasso, the show, I wouldn't be a soccer fan today. I don't think.
Interesting. I think it helped. I think it boosted my interest in it. I'd say also like my little brothers and my dad more so. But what I liked about Ted Lasso is like I think it really explains the game and specifically the Premier League and the Championship quite well. It also explains, gives a lot of shout outs to other clubs. It gives a lot of like
that's how
it expands your own knowledge. So like I had some knowledge, but like it helped expand a lot of interest, but also just really my own knowledge of the game. And like it's kind of you're seeing it through Ted's perspectives half the time, and him having to deal with all of the characters who are already accustomed to the game.
Yeah.
And so I'd say I have to agree with you there. Ted Lasso, definitely somebody.
We'll get more into favorite clubs later, but
I think we're going to talk more about Ted Lasso when we on our TV show episodes coming out soon.
Yeah, but no, specifically without Ted Lasso, I would not have liked Crystal Palace as my favorite Premier League team. Shout out Crystal Palace for beating, I think it was Everton 6-0 in the finale of season 1 of Ted Lasso.
Interesting fact.
I know a lot of facts I don't actually need to know. So
you said Ted Lasso. I've also said Ted Lasso too on mine.
Yeah.
So I think we both agree on that. But what about any players?
Yeah.
Talk about some players.
So one for me is definitely Wilfred Zaha, and he his time on Crystal Palace, he spent, I believe it was 12 or 13 seasons with Palace,
Okay.
well before I started liking them. But when I started liking them, I loved his antics. He's kind of like the firecracker because he's explosive. He'll complain to the refs. He'll do everything. He'll score goals. He'll assist. He just flies up and down the pitch. Like, oh my, like, I loved him when he was on Palace. Like, there was a whole mural put up in South London for him. He's just, I think, such a great player. And he was good for the community, too, out in South London. And then, unfortunately, he left Crystal Palace trophy chasing. Or, not trophy chasing. He wanted to play in the Champions League. Is what he wanted to do. And no offense to Crystal Palace. As a Crystal Palace fan, that's not going to happen anytime soon. And so he went off to Galatasaray. And he didn't get much playing time and didn't do too well in the Turkish Super League. And he was put on loan to Lyon in France for about half a season before he got recalled from that loan to then be loaned out to Charlotte FC, which is my favorite MLS team, my only geographically makes sense like sports team. And that's what really cemented him as a player who defined my soccer watching experience, is because I watched him all these years on TV, Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings and Wednesday afternoons and nights. And I finally got to see him play in person, and it was amazing. I geeked out every time he was on the pitch. I have maybe a concerningly large amount of pictures of Wilfred Zaha from all the games I went to.
Interesting. Very interesting.
He actually gave me a wave one time, too.
Oh, God. I'm not going to say that.
That's yeah, but I mean, like, well, it's because just a little soft. It was pouring rain. Yeah. Like, worst rain I would ever sit through a soccer match. But it was earlier this year. It was Easter weekend. Me and my family have a tradition of going to Charlotte FC before Easter, which is their spring break. So I decided to go back just to watch Charlotte FC. And it was pouring rain. More than everyone left the stands. There was maybe 100 people in the bowl still. Yeah. And they walked out. I was right above the tunnel. He gave me a wave.
Nice. That's pretty sick. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, thinking about mine, I guess my first one that I'll talk about. Definitely not my favorite player by any means, but somebody that I gotta give a shout out to. He played for the U.S. It's gonna be Clint Dempsey. He used to play striker, I believe. This is well before my time, but I believe he was a striker or forward for the Seattle Sounders for a very long time. And my dad is a massive Seattle Sounders fan. He's also a Man U fan. Yeah. But we actually talked earlier on the phone, but he would always set up his FIFA careers was always with the Seattle Sounders. And I remember watching him play FIFA for so long, and that's how we would always play FIFA together. And he would always use the Sounders, and he'd always score on me with Clint Dempsey, and it was really depressing. And but Clint Dempsey, I think, is just he's really one of the best U.S. players, I think, of all time. Just in terms of, like,
100%.
Best American player. Yeah, he was just a true trailblazer, I think, especially like 2010 soccer, MLS. He made games enjoyable to watch. He was very good at matching that Seattle sports culture, which I don't think is talked about enough. And, I mean, Seattle sports fans are awesome, and there's just no debate about that. And, the Sounders got good with Clint Dempsey around the same time that the Supersonics had left. And to see kind of a lot of these fans transition from basketball over to soccer. And see, like, Clint Dempsey, he went to college near where I grew up and went to high school. He went to Furman University and FU. And right next to Bob Jones University, BJU. So, there's a sign. But anyways, yeah, Clint Dempsey, I'd say he's pretty influential for maybe not my soccer watching experience, like my own, but through my dad's perspective. Man, because I ended up watching some of the sports with my dad, it's very interesting to just kind of see his fascination with these players. Like, specifically Clint Dempsey is the first one that comes to mind. First soccer player I really knew besides, like, Messi. So.
Pretty valid.
You have another one, Joe?
I do, and it kind of goes along the same lines of yours because he retired early. I'm going, shout out, first soccer jersey I ever owned, Thierry Henry, playing for the New York Red Bulls, which I don't know how many people know he played for them, but he did.
I don't know.
He's tried out managing, but Thierry Henry, it was this is for the soccer jersey, like the first one I owned. I still have it. I obviously do not fit into it anymore because I believe it is a youth medium. If it was a youth extra large, I could squeeze in. But youth medium, a little too small. But also, he really enhances my... I love watching Champions League Tonight with him, Micah Richards, Jamie Carragher, and Kate Scott. And that show has revolutionized how I watch soccer.
Fair.
Because even I throw it on. I get their clips on TikTok. I think it's one of the funniest sports commentating shows there is.
Yeah. No, it is. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Because obviously he won... Oh, shoot, World Cup year. I think it was 98 or 02. He won the World Cup with France, and then he won the Euros.
Yeah,
but that was before I was born.
Career,
so
probably one of the...
He did. He has a very good career for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Statue there.
No, I know. And it's kind of funny that you talk about him, because I think he's been wonderful for this World Cup on Fox. But I don't think he's been as wonderful as my own personal choice for this, as Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who I think he's my favorite player of all time. He's, to me, could have been the best player of all time, but that's a whole other thing. But just from a pure soccer perspective. But anyways, it is what it is. I'm not going to fight about that with you today. Zlatan, where can I really start, man? Got to start in FIFA. I think I got to start with FIFA first. He was one of the only players I could score my dad with, because my dad's a coach. And so you'd think I'd be better at video games than my dad, but he's also good at video games and a soccer coach. So I had very little chances. But Zlatan's scoring ability is unmatched. But I think there's more to Zlatan than that. Zlatan played pretty much in every league. He was very good at winning league titles, not so much Champions League. But he's great at just playing pure, very good, dominant soccer. He was a great striker. And I remember him being one of the first players I was really oh no, Zlatan's retiring. I remember it was May or June of 23. And being oh fuck, drink. And so it's just, he's really changed. And then I especially think his posts. Yeah, I was kind of thought when he retired he was just going to be doing commercials and stuff. No, he's doing everything. Zlatan is everything. Everything is Zlatan. And
there you go.
Yeah, and he's just been. I think he's been the highlight of the commentary on this World Cup when it comes to just so many different things. I think his willingness to really experience the American culture and actually talk about sports and just kind of be very honest. I think it matches. I think it matches exactly what the American soccer fans have needed. So shout out Zlatan, and we'll come back to it. Joe, you got one more. I see.
I'm going very recent player. Played for the U.S. I'm going Chris Richards, center back for Crystal Palace, main defender for the U.S. men's national team. And the big reason I chose him, he supports Birmingham Legion. He's a co-owner, which I don't like Birmingham Legion at all, just so you know. But he supports lower levels in American soccer because he grew up playing in their system before he got signed by Bayern. But he's also proof, not to me, because he's only a couple years older than me.
Yeah.
That American kids can go play in Europe. Part of this golden generation.
True.
Big air quotes around that one. But I think he's one of the most defensively sound players. He was on that U.S. team, and I think he's quite underrated in the Premier League. And he's another reason I get so invested in Crystal Palace games is I'm oh my gosh, he grew up in Alabama, and he's playing Premier League soccer.
Yeah, he's great. Good for him. I think there's a rise.
And I really like his hair.
You jealous? You want his hair?
If I can grow an afro, but I know I can't.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think you can. Cool. No,
I've tried.
Yeah, unfortunately, mine is my pick for this is not a young blood. He is not very young. In fact, he was knocked out today. That would be Mr. Harry Kane. Yeah, it really comes down to 2018 World Cup. I barely knew who the guy was before that I'll admit it. I'll admit that I was a chud. But the 2018 World Cup, I was actually...
Was?
Yeah, you're kind of a chud. It's 2018 World Cup. I was at summer camp, and my camp counselors, 3 out of 4 of them, that particular summer, were all from England. I had one from Bristol, one from Leicester City, and one from South London. Really awesome guys. Great time. But they were all very, very, very into the World Cup. And I remember, I believe it was the quarterfinal. It was the quarterfinal because England won. It was the 2018 quarterfinal. We're all grouped together. Just kind of like in the cabin. There's probably like 10 to 12 of us. Now, a few of us actually watched soccer, which I had like understood soccer, and I watched stuff. We're all huddled together, and we're just chanting Harry Kane. Now, granted, we're not really watching the game. We're listening to it on the radio. And, Harry Kane scores. They go crazy. It's awesome. And really from that time on, I just started paying a lot more attention to Premier League. Specifically because of Harry Kane's brilliance in the 2018 World Cup. So,
That's very solid.
yeah, it's just a very...
I don't disagree. I mean, like, he had a really good 2018 World Cup.
And I was really hoping that they would pull through and make it to the final for just for everybody on that 2018 team that just didn't make it. And unfortunately, they're knocked out, and I don't know if Harry Kane's going to be playing in another World Cup. So, if this is it, hats off to him.
I think it's just unfortunate. Yeah, England just has such solid talent pool.
They're just so
Where
close.
I don't think they want to end up like Portugal.
I think Cole Palmer will probably play. But anyways.
I feel bad saying I hope so, but you look at how Ronaldo did at 41.
I think he could play one more. But where he has a serious role like this, no. Unfortunately, I do not think.
Might make the squad.
I think he'll make the squad. I don't think he'll play. Not as much. And that's okay. But hats off to him. He's been an absolute class of a player in every World Cup he's played in. And they had a good year this year. Just couldn't make it happen. Hate to see it.
There's still the third place game. Don't worry.
I'm very excited for that. I'm taking them. Do I think they'll win? I don't know.
I think France will win.
Who do you got for the World Cup? I wanted to ask you earlier.
I got Spain.
I'm taking Spain too. I like Messi.
I love Messi. I'm a big Messi supporter.
Same. But they just won, and I think it'd be good. And even though Spain won,
2010.
yeah, I think I'd rather have Spain win this time. It's just because, purely just because they knocked out France, and I hate France, and Argentina knocked out England, and I love England. That's really what it comes down to. Plus, they won the last one, so it is what it is. But vamos España.
Vamos.
All right. Well, we're getting to that part of the podcast. You know what part I'm talking about, Joe?
It is our favorite part.
It is. That being...
It is the draft.
The draft. We're going to do a draft of 12 players, a starting lineup, and then our extra. One sub.
Super sub.
All right, time for the draft. We're going to do a snake draft, serpent draft, whatever you want to call it. Joe's going to get the first pick this time. And it won't necessarily be the best players, but it's going to be a lot of our favorites. And we're going to be doing it.
It's a mix. Snake, I was going to elaborate. It's a mix of both players that are good, favorites, and just people we like overall.
Yep. And it's going to be in a 4-3 formation.
Yeah, 4-3-3. Mine might shift a little bit. I think. No, mine will be like a 3-4-2-1-2.
So we did a 3-4-3. It doesn't really matter.
It's a 3-4-3, I think. I think that's what it'll end up being.
Yeah, 3-4-3. All
right. And first pick, no surprise here, Messi. Putting him at striker. / forward, I know he's traditionally a wing, but I want him
short
creating.
Striker is interesting. That's to say.
All right, yeah. He's the best player of all time, so.
All right, well, I have 2 picks here, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to take 2 wings. They don't play wing, but I took 3 forwards, and they all happen to play striker currently. So, I'm going to take Zlatan Ibrahimovic as my first pick. All right, so the first round, Joe, you took Messi as striker, and I took Zlatan as my winger. For my second pick, I have to take him before Joe can. I'm going to take Cristiano Ronaldo, CR7.
Yeah.
And he's going to play.
I'm not going to lie.
Wing as well.
Oh, you continue. Yeah, if you didn't pick him there, I was 100% going to pick him. Like, yes, Messi's better, but you got to have like a 1-2 like that. Nothing can beat that.
It's very dominant. All right, Joe. What about your second pick and your third?
All right. My second and third pick here, I'm also going winger. I got a match. And I didn't have to, but I'm going my boy, last namesake, Thierry Henry. Pronounced differently, spelled the same. You just got to get him out there on the wing. Left wing specifically, because there's an interview where he's asked where he's best. He said left. And then I'm going to, get a midfielder here. I'm going to get, I don't know how to say his first name, Zidane, out of Italy. Yeah, I couldn't tell you what clubs he ever played for. All I know is he bit someone, and I can't remember if it was the Euros. I think it was the World Cup. It might have been the Euros, but he bit someone. I got to get a physical player like that.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take a physical player soon, but not quite yet. So for my next two picks, I'm thinking two midfielders here. I'm going to take a right midfielder. I'm going to place David Beckham as my right midfielder.
Yeah, solid pick.
Love the David Beckham
Spice Girl
documentary on Netflix. Shout out that he's he's married to a Spice Girl, Posh man. Mm-hmm. But secondly, I'm going to be taking Luka Modric, who I think is one of the best midfielders of all time, especially recently. I mean, just massive. I mean, he's just been so class for that Croatian team. And I hated to see them go so early, especially to fucking Portugal. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
What about you, Joe?
I'm not going to lie. If you didn't take him there, I was going to take him.
I know.
But my next pick, like we said, we're not going off best. He's pretty good. He's won a Champions League. I'll give you his nickname and see if you know who he is. I got the LeBron James of soccer. Christian Pulisic.
Oof. Yeah, he had
Big oof.
World Cup.
I love him.
Yeah.
Hey, he's won a Champions League. He was injured.
Yes. Yeah.
And then got called out for that. So
who's your next pick, bud?
I'm going to match another good favorite player with my favorite player, Wilfried Zaha. I forgot to mention, Pulisic's playing the right wing. Zaha's playing the left mid to give Henry that support.
Fair enough. All right, well, as my striker, I'm going to draft Harry Kane. Harry Kane, I talked about him earlier. I wanted to draft him again. I think he does change the game, like when he's playing. And I think specifically, he's just very wonderful as my team striker. So having Harry Kane in the middle, while having Cristiano Ronaldo and Zlatan Ibrahimovic on both sides, it's a beautiful forward. All right. But for my second pick, I'm going to take a defender. For my center back, I'm going to take Mr. Thiago Silva.
Yeah.
All right, Joe.
Interesting picks there. Really interested in that Harry Kane pick.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Why is that? You know why. But I'm not going to crash out like you. All right, so you went defender. I'm going to lock down two defenders. Like I said, both played for the U.S., both played in this last World Cup. Next is Chris Richards. After that, I'm following it up with... Okay, you got to think about this one. This player in his prime at Fulham, and a lot earlier in his U.S. days, Tim Ream. Also a very questionable World Cup. Also plays for Charlotte FC.
Also, really old, so I can't really blame. No hate there. Retire.
I will, that's what I'm thinking. I was thinking all these players in their prime, because we got some retired. So, CR7's 41.
He's going to soon, yeah. All right, well, for my next
He'll keep playing as long as Saudi pays.
Sure he will. Well, for my next two picks, I'm going to be taking a keeper. That keeper is going to be Courtois, who's probably... might not be the best keeper anymore, but he at one point was the best keeper in the world for a very long time.
100%.
So, wonderful pick, I think, there. And then for my second pick, I'm going to fill out my left midfield, and I'm going to put KDB, Mr. Kevin De Bruyne. Load up on some assists from the outside. Get the ball up. What about you, Joe? Who you taking here?
That's a good late round snipe there. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I guess it's not that late, but we're in the second half of the draft. KDB, great assist, great TikTok trend too. Not gonna lie. All right, I'm gonna hammer home my defense here. I'm going three backs. I am going Sergio Ramos, just elite defender there, and I'm following it up with someone who is part of the best underdog story in sports history. A winner with the longest odds to ever win the Premier League. And he wasn't captain of that team, I don't think. But he also later played, you might see a theme here, played for Charlotte FC, was our captain, and our inaugural captain. I am picking Christian Fuchs to lock down a defensive midfield.
Hell yeah, dude. I like that pick. It's a damn good pick.
Because you got massive strikers, physical players, good assists coming in. You need that solidly defensively sound defender in the midfield on top of the center backs.
Good class pick. There you go. Well, my next pick, very great player. I don't know how classy he was, maybe off and on the field, but I'm gonna go with the inspiration for Mr. Roy Kent, from Ted Lasso, filling out my midfield. Mr. Roy Keane as my last midfielder. I think it's a good pick.
Yes.
And he's pretty funny. Questionable, but funny. He was a hell of a player. Great player. Plus, he played for Forest before he was ever famous in Manchester United. So, shout out that. But for my next pick, I'm going to be taking a left back. Or he may not play left back, but he's playing left back on this team. That's going to be Mr. Virgil van Dijk.
Another great the truly late round snipe there. Mm-hmm. I didn't even consider him, and I probably should have taken him over Chris Richards, over Tim Ream. Probably would have been a little better.
Is what it is.
But I don't really care because you know why? I got the next two picks, and my next one I think is the steal of the draft. It's going to mess up my 3-4-3 a little bit, which is why I think it'll end up being a 3-3-1-2, something like that, or a 3-3-2-1. But I envision it as a 3-3-1. I am taking Erling Haaland to play like a central attacking midfielder.
Right after I take Roy Keane, too.
Brouts. Yeah, I know. Him and his dad have beef.
Hella beef, bro. It's bad.
But he single-handedly carried Norway to this World Cup. I will give credit to Odegaard, but without him,
he's great.
Haaland, I believe, is a steal. Yeah. Yeah, gonna throw him a little out of position, so he might not score as much. But you got to match. You got to get someone up tall in there. Right. And then since you took goalkeeper so early, I got to save him for my last pick. Yeah. Well, you already picked one, so I know you wouldn't have two.
Oh, who are you taking?
I am going. Maybe once again, not the best. U.S. legend, Everton legend, Tim Howard.
You know what? I respect it. I don't hate that pick.
Massive time in the Prem.
Yeah.
And he beat Spain's unbeaten run after the 2010 Olympics.
Fair.
Not Olympics, World Cup. That's what
I kind of figured that's what you meant. I was like,
yeah.
But anyways, cool. I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. Well, I got two more picks. We're going to be done with this draft. This is my 11th pick, so my last pick on my starting lineup. Can I get a drum roll, please?
No.
Okay, well, fuck you. Well, I'm going to take Mr. Harry Maguire. He's going to be playing right back, which I don't love. But, yes, we would show some love to Harry Maguire, like the 2026 World Cup team could for England. Yeah. Mr. Harry Maguire.
Easy win off the wing.
Whatever. What a wonderful player to, what'd you say?
He's a wonderful player. I will give him that.
What a wonderful player.
He's a wonderful player.
To kind of throw in on this list. I mean, just pure
fun
class.
Player.
Staying at Man through it all. And so, never really complaining, accepting that he's not the player he once was. So, I mean, just been a wonderful player to watch, and I really hope the best for that guy. But, my last player that I will be taking, my super sub, is going to be another player from that 2018 World Cup. Theme on my team. And that is going to be, in my opinion, the biggest underdog in sports possibly ever. He's part of the biggest underdog in sports team ever. That's going to be, he no longer plays for them, but for a while, Leicester City's Jamie Vardy. I don't think that's a bad pick. And he's going to be my super sub.
Not a bad pick at all. Great super sub to have. Questionable position for your super sub because you do have 3 world-class strikers already. But, well, one of them might get tired. One of them might get injured.
I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I went in a completely different direction with my super sub. I'm going to pick someone you might not know about. People who are listening will most definitely not know about. I'm picking someone from another local team, the Charleston Battery. Shout out USL.
Yeah.
Second tier soccer in the United States.
Yeah.
First American sports league to implement promotion and relegation. But I'm picking the captain for the past, I think, 2-3 seasons, Emilio Yakaza.
Okay.
Which you're going to be like, ooh, who is he? Like, I picked him just for pure vibes.
Good. I like that.
Like, he's great. He's a vibes pick, but he also knows how to command a game, even though he's going up against these overrated players on your team. Like, he'll know how to slow down, speed up. You'll sub him in at the 75th minute, and boom.
Yeah.
Game under control. But both solid teams, I will admit. Mine,
Yeah,
I argue, is better.
Teams, I think my teams would kill your team. More than
Funny you bring that up, because I believe I just ran a ChatGPT 1,000 game simulation.
Okay, but that's through your ChatGPT.
You can do it in your ChatGPT and it'll give you the same results. But I think truly the only way to settle this is through a game of FIFA with this squad.
I think we're going to have to do that. When are we going to do that, Joe?
We will do it on an in-person, maybe not episode. I think it deserves its own video.
I think it's going to be but it will be when we are filming together. Come here in the next couple of weeks.
In person.
Next few weeks.
For my birthday.
For Joe's birthday. Charleston podcast coming to you soon. And about little less
maybe even about 3 weeks, 3.5.
The podcast we're going to do some
shout out maybe IRL podcasting around Charleston.
Yeah.
We're going to be together for an episode. Maybe do a coffee review. Let us know if we should stream.
Yeah. We can do a live stream. Stream on Twitch a little bit.
Twitch, YouTube, whatever tickles your fancy.
Get into it. We'll get real into it. But yeah, so
we'll play a full 90-minute game of FIFA.
All right, but I think we'll have to settle it there then. All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, Joe. Well, that was a wonderful draft. I had a good time. What about you?
Yeah, I always enjoy drafting the winning team.
Good. Well, Joe, let's move on to our next section, which is going to be some hot takes.
My favorite part of every episode, except for the draft.
Do you want to start with this?
Because, I mean, like, maybe I don't think it's too hot of a take, but some people do. I don't know. Shout out all our international listeners. Whether you're listening now or in a year, you're like, oh, they did an episode on soccer. It's just called football. Like, no. All right. So currently, in the world right now, MLS is a top 10 league worldwide. I would even argue it's getting up there to top 8 or top 7.
Okay.
Top 7 and 8 is stretching.
Okay. So what? Who's before?
But
and who's after?
Definitively better. I'm going definitively better because that's a lot easier than who's after. So Prem, first tier. So Prem, League One, Serie A, La Liga. Those 4 guaranteed better. I'm going Championship in England. I'm going... See, I'm already struggling to come up with some. Liga, Serie A. Maybe I can make an argument for like top 6.
Did you say Bundesliga?
Oh no, top 7. Bundesliga, yeah.
Bundesliga.
Forgot about that one.
What about the
Which
Dutch
one?
league? What about the Dutch?
Eredivisie. Okay, so
Or Serie?
that one, no, it's not better than Serie B. Like the only second tier flight in Europe that is better is the Championship, hands down. So Eredivisie, I believe this is where the conversation starts.
Okay.
Because outside of Ajax, outside of... I can't even name the second best team in the league.
All right. Well, yeah.
Outside of Ajax, who else is there?
You're asking the wrong guy, dude.
Exactly. I could tell you Rotterdam, Excelsior. Oh, Feyenoord, that's the one I was thinking of. But like outside of those...
So you think MLS is a top 10 league? You know, I don't hate that.
Yeah.
Would you rather...
I'm arguing top 7. MLS or what?
Saudi.
MLS all day.
What has more talent, though, do you think?
MLS.
I kind of agree. There's some big players.
Money doesn't lure talent. Well, I mean it does, but that much money doesn't lure talent.
True.
I believe those are just selfish players, or like there is like some cases where I do think it's smart and they're starting their career. Like there's that 122-year-old from the Prem who like took. Didn't João Felix too go to
I think he's
Saudi League?
He's there.
So like him, he'll be able to go back, but you're taking some of these like 28 to 32-year-olds. Taking a bunch of money, thinking that they're going to go play 2 years and then come back, which they're not going to be able to do. Because there's no talent outside of all. There's all Ali,
Well, Benzema.
Al Nasser,
Yeah.
and like outside of that,
Fair enough. No, yeah, you're right. I think I'd prefer MLS, but I don't know. It's just kind of it's hard to wrap your brain around. But
I think it's top 7. I changed my initial take,
yep. I mean, I have less.
and it's so much better than Liga MX or Akis, if you want to be technical with it.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have too many hot takes here. I think you're full of them, more so, that I can defend. But I do think... I don't think this is so much of a hot take in recent history. But I don't think he's a bad player. I wanted to put this out there. I actually think he's a pretty good guy. He's fun. I think a lot of Americans like him. But I want to put this out there. This is just me. I don't think that Vinny Jr. I don't think he's a top 5 player right now.
Oh, I mean, like I would agree with that.
I just don't. And I don't even know that he's... I don't know that he's been a top 10 player recently. I do think that he's had some performances that are still... that could argue that he is top 10.
See, but that's where you lose me.
I know, but I do think he's playing in a club that's full of like these great players. So
yeah, and he doesn't shine.
He isn't shining out. So I think maybe it's just that. But you know, I'm hoping for him that something can happen. But we'll see. We shall see. What about you, Joe? You got any more?
I mean, like I have a couple, but I don't want to put too many of those thoughts out on the internet. I got the very basic one, but I believe this 100% with all my heart. If the U.S. invested more into our soccer system and our best athletes overall across all our professional sports leagues all grew up playing soccer, we would have the best soccer team in the world, no doubt. It wouldn't even be a question.
I don't hate that because I think we have a very wide array of people in the United States.
Yeah.
Given the size.
And even, like, yeah, you think of the size, but, like, I'm thinking, like, this is getting into football, but, like, the USA flag football team, I think instead of wasting their time on playing a flag football sport professionally, which no shade on them, and if they train soccer, like, I don't know if you've seen clips of how, like, shifty they are. Imagine them, but doing that with a soccer ball.
Yeah, well, it's also hard to teach.
U.S.
It's hard
I
to
mean,
teach
like,
you doing that with the ball.
Also, criminally underrated squad. Just can't perform in the World Cup.
Cool.
Better than Mexico. Better than Canada.
Cool.
The U.S. Easy, no doubt.
Yeah, obviously.
No question in my mind.
You thought we were worse than Canada or Mexico, dude?
Some people will argue on their lives that Mexico's better.
They-
Historically, you might be able to throw it to Mexico, but right now, our A team versus their A team,
dude,
clears.
we own Mexico.
Yeah,
We
I'll
own
try.
Mexico. We've
Weston
always-
McKinney with his torn shirt.
Canada wants to be America. That's all they are. All they're ever going to be.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't think this is such a hot take, but maybe it is. All right, we were talking about Real Madrid earlier, and I don't like Real Madrid, so maybe this is just Real Madrid bias. But it is, in my opinion, that, well, first of all, I don't really understand why Jude Bellingham plays for Real Madrid. I understand why. He's one of the best players in the world. Why would he not want to play for him? But La Liga is not a very competitive league. And so for me, it is a dream of mine to watch. It would be a dream for me to watch Jude Bellingham play in the Prem. I don't care even what team, as long as I just don't want him to play for City. But I do think he would be a wonderful addition to the Prem. I think he'd make the Prem. I think it would shake things up.
Once again, gotta disagree with you here.
Why?
He's so great on that Real Madrid team.
He is great.
You said La Liga isn't that competitive. It has two of the most storied clubs in, I'd say, soccer history. Mm-hmm. Two very important also to historical movements. There's also Atleti in there, which they haven't been I think within the next 2 years they will win La Liga in one of them. Diego Simeone will finally figure it out. But there's so much talent in that league.
There is, but it's not very
that you don't think.
It's not very competitive. It doesn't matter. It's the same. You have a few teams that are good, 2 or 3. And I'll say this: the Prem's been overran by the same teams. But like at least like City didn't win this year. Arsenal won. Which But what?
Even
City
worse.
won last year or not? Didn't Liverpool
Yeah.
win too? Yeah. So it's gone.
Yeah, Liverpool won last year,
City,
and then it was City.
Yeah. So there's been some variation as of late. So that's what's been nice. But you got any more hot takes? 'Cause I think I'm done with my hot takes. Hot take.
I don't know if it's a hot take, but I got two that revolve around the Ballon d'Or.
Okay.
Okay. So one, Messi should have more. Which I don't know if it's a hot take. Like the year Luka Modric won, Messi should have won.
Here's a lot.
The year Lewandowski won, he did deserve that one. Lewandowski. But I don't know how much they should take into account international games and performance into the Ballon d'Or.
Oh yeah, because Haaland should have won the year that Messi did. Then.
Disagree. He was great in the MLS.
Yeah.
But I think it should be, because it's like looking for the best soccer player and not like yeah, I'm like, you look at it. Like, Messi won the World Cup. Messi won the MLS Cup. It's just, I don't think it should be taken. Because, like, you look at, I don't think any Denmark players will be talked about for the Ballon d'Or, but they're a top, I think they're ranked 12th in the FIFA rankings. They didn't even qualify for the World Cup.
Yeah.
So it disproportionately hurts others more than it hurts themselves.
Yeah, it's not doing well. But I don't know. I feel like Ballon d'Or, it's been interesting. I think it was getting really repetitive when it was just Messi, Ronaldo. There's plenty of really good.
See, I love that, though. Well, no, because they were the two best players at the time.
Yeah, true. But there was also, like, some snubs, I think. Like, looking back at it. It is what it is.
Messi.
You're always going to snub somebody. It is what it is. But maybe
that's
it's
for
just 'cause
everyone.
I don't like the La Liga so much. But it is what it is. I mean, Messi's the greatest player to ever touch a soccer ball. So that's not a hot take. That's just the correct.
No. Some people on the internet, a.k.a. Cristiano, my bad, Ronaldo fans, will find that
one goal
infuriating.
One goal when it mattered. Ever. In this World Cup. Sorry. Kobe.
Yeah, one goal.
Harder.
He finally outscored Ochoa, which is the Mexican goalkeeper, by the way. And they've played in the same amount of World Cups in knockout phases.
That is pretty funny. All right, Joe. Well, I think we're going to move on from hot takes. I don't have any more. that I feel like talking about.
Yeah. I'll keep those in the chamber.
All right, Joe. We'll move on to our favorite players of all time. And I think we've kind of talked about it, but you want me to go ahead?
Mine differs a little bit, but yeah, I'll go ahead. I'll stick with two here. So I just have Zaha and Messi, which Messi wasn't talked about for me earlier in the, but he's literally the best player of all time. I believe he's one of the greatest athletes to live on this earth right now, and like soccer wouldn't be the same.
Fair enough. I'm gonna go.
I don't think that one needs any explanation. Zaha, I've already explained, so I don't need to. I don't want to do it again.
I mean, my three I've kind of talked about. I think I'll talk about one for a little bit more here, but because it is a questionable pick, just based off of how much I've hated on Real Madrid. But it's gonna go. Yeah, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, favorite player of all time. He's just fun to watch. He's fun off the pitch. Pure class of a guy, and just pure class of a player. Yeah, my favorite Zlatan story is when he went to Galaxy and he played in the MLS. LeBron sends him a jersey. And he's like, who the fuck is LeBron James? And he signs the jersey and sends it back to LeBron. It's a pretty baller move because I also don't like LeBron. Fun fact. So, pretty awesome that he did that. Love that for him. My second favorite player is going to be David Beckham. I mean, I think David Beckham was very influential in getting a lot of young Americans excited about soccer. Just from a pop culture perspective, too. I think was really huge about bringing soccer into pop culture. It was just fun to watch. Yeah. A lot of iconic moments over his career. A lot of failure, too. A lot of adversity and just from his own mistakes. The 98 World Cup. I mean, in that Netflix documentary, you really admire him as a player, and he's done a lot for MLS, I think, too.
Yeah, well, I'll throw in there. He's one of the best contract negotiators in like the sports world. To be able to work in a franchising fee into his MLS contract with the LA Galaxy, where he can start a franchise for. I think he started with a $25 million like franchising fee, which if you look now it is 20x that ish, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
because I think Tepper the most recent ones have paid 450 mil, and so he got it for 25, and so he has also raised the team's valuation. Speaking to the pop culture and the current state, he has raised Inter Miami to be $1 billion club.
Yeah, yes. I mean, they're
great businessman on top of just soccer.
Yeah, no, he's just purely great, pure class. And then my third favorite, and this is, like I said, hate Real Madrid, but you gotta like this guy. I mean, if you like soccer, you gotta like this guy. It's Luka Modric. I mean, he's just magnificent. The position that he plays in, and the way that just the composure he has on the pitch, and the way that he was able to play for so many, some big clubs. He played for Spurs for a while, but then he played, or not for a while, for a little bit. And then he played on Real Madrid for so long, and getting to really be on the Madrid team, and specifically that dominant Real Madrid team, Ronaldo, and then even after when Ronaldo left and staying, and he outlasted even Toni Kroos, who retired before him. Now he also, I think he brought Croatia to like one of the most successful. They were one of the most successful international teams without really winning any World Cup or anything.
Or Euros, even.
Or Euros. It sucks because he deserved a victory. It's just, he was the best player in his position for so long. And he was the best player in his country for so long.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times...
Still solid.
I don't know how much you... What? What you said?
Still solid.
He's still...
What I said.
Yeah,
he's still solid now.
Yeah, he's still great.
Yeah.
He's playing for Milan now. And, just good for him. He's a good dad. He's a good player. He's a good role model, I think. And I think when you think of what a soccer player should be or should want to be, it should be a lot like Luka Modric, even if it's not going to be winning, because he's always been a very good winner, very good loser. So shout out him. But I think we've kind of touched on it too. Our favorite teams. My favorite teams, Nottingham Forest overall. But I've also grew up. I also grew up watching Orlando City with my dad. I kind of mentioned that, but I wouldn't say it's by any means my favorite team. MLS, I don't really think I have one. and I'll admit that. Atletico, I like a lot. Purely just because I didn't want to like Real or Barca, I'll admit it. And, my other team, comes back to a lot of FIFA. It's always going to be AC Milan. I've really enjoyed watching them over the past few years. There's a lot of change, a lot of differences from when I first started watching them to now, but it's a fun team to keep up. And I don't think that I'm necessarily any different. Or, I'm probably a boring soccer fan because I'm a normie at most. Very much a casual, possibly not even.
Okay.
But for an American,
yeah,
I'm decent.
Well, at least you started liking Milan before Pulisic got there.
Indeed.
Which is the only reason I watch AC Milan games.
Fair enough.
Not this year, though.
Yeah. What about you, Joe?
All right, I can go and list off every single league, but I'm not going to do that. So I just pulled out some of my fourth ones.
Yeah.
I might do that anyways, but
Please don't.
so I have one of the similar ones, Atletico Madrid, for the same reason, because whenever I studied abroad in Spain, everyone talked about Real Madrid or Barcelona, and I'm like, psh, don't want either of them. And then I picked Atletico Madrid, and I have an Atletico Madrid jersey, and, well, I also have a Barcelona and Real Madrid one, but, yeah, I went to their Champions League game. That really just is, like, the big reason why.
Fair. I guess that's how I am with the Forest, because when I watched that,
Yeah.
it was, like, my first true experience.
Yeah. And then, like, now it's also, like, Johnny Cardoso, shout out American. I don't think he made the... he might not... No, he got injured. He wasn't on our World Cup squad. He was going to make it. And then Crystal Palace, as I've mentioned, solely because they were featured in the season finale episode of season 1 of Ted Lasso. They beat... I'm, like, 98% sure it was Everton.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6-0, and I was like, oh, Crystal Palace, I'll start liking that team. Mm-hmm. And I made that my whole personality.
Fair enough. You have a big
Locally, yeah. Charlotte FC, first geographic team that I've ever liked. They were founded the same time Ted Lasso was coming out, and I was broadening my soccer horizons. I went to their inaugural match. I have been to... I'd say out of any sports team, excluding the College of Charleston men's basketball team, they are the team I've seen the most games for.
Yeah.
They have reasonably priced tickets, and it's just a fun experience when you go.
Yeah.
And I just love the team. Even though we didn't try and re-sign Zaha, we did find a DP player instead. I don't know how to say his name, but he's French. He's supposedly good. We'll see. First game is in a week, actually, after our break. And... yeah. I might get to go see him again in 10 days. They're playing the Red Bull, so I think I'm going to make the trek out there to go see him.
Very interesting.
And then
I like that, Joe.
Last team, I did shout out USL earlier, Charleston Battery. $5 student tickets was one of the best investments. Like, I went on Wednesday nights, I went on Saturday nights. Shout out when they had beer specials. Fun times.
Yeah, that's something I've been meaning to do for so long, and I just never did, and I wish I had done it.
They're still playing now, so you can... I mean, all they check is your student ID, so if you still have that...
True, I do. And I almost worked for the Battery, actually, once upon a time.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever told you that.
And then I'm also going to go see the Battery, because they are playing in Connecticut in October.
Ooh.
So I'm shelling out big bucks of... $55 to go sit behind their bench in the first row.
Fun. That'll be a good time, man. I'm glad.
I'm not allowed. Yeah, I'm ecstatic.
I can tell.
I'm excited. MLS is coming back. Like, yes, I love the World Cup. I love my Saturday night soccer.
Yeah.
Nothing beats watching that.
Fair enough. I mean, maybe, college football. But I think that
I disagree.
Go to the podcast where we talk about college football.
Yeah.
I think that's what we do. I think we talk about... I think we're going to have to do some podcasts for college football and NFL coming up soon.
Yeah, they could be in the same or separate podcasts.
I think we'll do separate ones.
I think they do separate, yeah.
But anyways, this brings us to the end of the World Cup soccer podcast. Like we said earlier, Vamos España for our...
Vamos España.
World
Lamine
Yamal. And... so thanks for hanging out with us today, guys.
Big stuff coming soon.
Yeah, we're going to tease that.
Sorry to cut you off there.
There you go. We got
big stuff coming soon. We got a Marvel episode coming
Next
before
week.
Spider-Man.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a special.
We
guest
have
for that
a
episode.
TV. Yeah, we will.
We will. Yeah.
TV shows episode,
Me too.
and we're gonna do a Charleston IRL episode or 2 or 3.
One or two.
We might live stream while I'm there.
We're gonna have a bunch.
I'm
of
sure we're gonna get some. Yeah, we're gonna get some vlog footage. A little bit deviating outside of a podcast, but you can see what we do.
for sure. It'll be a fun time. So
Yeah,
we're
and then I was gonna say we're gonna have a books episode, like we mentioned. We're gonna be talking, or at least I will. I just ordered the Odyssey. Well, it actually came yesterday, and it is a lot bigger than I thought.
oh yeah, no, it's a good book.
Yeah.
Well, I'm actually going to see that movie by Christopher Nolan
Yeah.
tomorrow night. So way to
Yeah,
take this
me too.
podcast.
6:00.
Yeah, it'll be a good time. We'll have to talk about it next week before we talk about TV shows, or
Yeah.
before we talk about Marvel. So, but yeah, man,
Big
it's been
stuff.
fun. So, tune in next week for our Marvel episode featuring our special guest. You will see him then. And other than that, it's been absolutely wonderful talking to you tonight, Joe.
Yeah,
Thanks
as
for
always.
talking to me about the beautiful game,
World sport.
the world.
Sport I follow the most now.
Yeah, you do. All right, well, stay tuned, guys. Thank you guys so
All right.
much.
Yep. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Adios. All right.